Engine operating directly on the wheel. No chain, no vibrations. Vespa. Vespa, the most sold motor scooter in the world. Vespa, 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 Vespa.
And now, on with the show.
I'm strong and I'm spry, yippee-yay, yippee-I, 'cause I drink T-O-D-D-Y.
Yes, Toddy, the chocolate malt in a can that tastes as good or better than the kind you get at your favorite soda fountain. Made with rich, real milk, not powdered milk.
Man, oh man, it's Toddy for me.
Me too.
Me three.
Yes, cold or hot, it hits the spot. So toddle to the bar, take it back to the car, get that chocolate malted Toddy. Toddy pleases everybody.
Mmm, delicious.
We hope you're enjoying your visit here this evening. Now, on with the show.
We've all seen these signs hundreds of times, and we know automatically what they mean. Here's a name sign. In this case, it's a sign that means me. And I'm here to introduce you to a brand new sign, one I hope you'll grow to understand. It's the new seal of the Motion Picture Association. This seal is part of the self-regulation of the Motion Picture Association. It means that the film displaying the seal is within the creative boundaries of reason and good judgment, and that the theatre showing this film supports the code. Occasionally, not often, you will see pictures wearing this sign. They will be pictures dealing with adult themes, and the sign is for the information of parents, so they'll know they must decide for themselves whether they want their children to see these particular films. So watch for this seal. It is both the promise and the symbol of a responsible motion picture industry.
And now, on with the show.
Intermission time. Time that stretch you've been wanting. And best of all, time to take your pick from that scrumptious array of tasty treats waiting for you at the snack bar, where the popcorn's poppin', the cold drinks are sparkling, the hot dogs are sling, the coffee is steaming, and a luscious treasure of confectionery delights with ice cream and candy and so much more to tempt any taste is waiting for you now at the snack bar. You'll be notified in plenty of time when the next show is about to begin.
And now, on with the show.
It's intermission. Rise and stretch time. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for hot popcorn? Your favorite soft drinks are sparkling cold. The juicy Frank sizzling hot. There's delicious coffee, freshly brewed, and all kinds of ice cream and candy to tempt you. Showtime will be announced loud and clear to get you back to your car in time. So stretch your legs. Come to the snack bar now.
here. Now's the time for a bite of cheer. A tasty light where the price is right. Well, look here, you'll dig the sight. The moment's handy for a piece of candy. Just name your brand, they're all so grand. Hey, what do you think of a nice cool drink? Or a big box filled with a popcorn thrill? Let your taste buds meet with an ice cream treat. Refresh yourselves, it's time to eat. So come on, folks, let's join the band as we all head for the refreshment stand.
Welcome to your favorite drive-in theater and a sparkling new season. Watch our screen and local newspapers for all the fine shows coming this way. Show after show will feature the latest hits, the biggest stars for fun-filled, pleasure-packed evenings. Relax, come as you are, and spend an enjoyable night out with the entire family. No parking problems, no babysitting problems. And there are always tasty snacks at our modern refreshment stand.
Thanks, folks. And once again, welcome back.
Folks, and a hearty welcome to our drive-in theater. We have a wonderful evening's entertainment lined up for you, one that will provide several hours of pleasurable relaxation and diversion for you and your family. Did you fail to dress up for tonight's show? No tie, an old shirt and slacks, a house dress? Well, don't give it a thought. We're glad you came as you are. We just want you to enjoy yourselves. Don't forget to visit our refreshment center during the intermission or any time. You love the tasty array of snacks we have to offer. So will the youngsters. Everything is quality and so good. We hope you'll make this a weekly visit. Bring the family. Bring your friends. There are always wonderful new pictures to see, delightful snacks to nibble, a gay, pleasant evening for all. Oh, a word of caution. Don't drive over 10 miles an hour in the theater area for your safety's sake. And Mom or Pop, go with the kids when they leave the car. We hope you have a wonderful time. Come back soon.
Most of us will spend Memorial Day weekend with our families, watching parades, picnicking, golfing, just doing the things we enjoy. To top off a perfect weekend, may we suggest you see our special holiday show. It's an exceptionally entertaining program. So plan to relax and spend a few enjoyable hours with the family at this theater during the Memorial Day weekend.
Refresh yourself. It's intermission time. The concession stand is open and ready to serve you.
It's intermission time, folks, so hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof.
Enjoy breathtaking, mouth-watering goodies. Everything from a snack to a delicious full meal. At our refreshment center, you'll find a large variety of goodies to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, or your sweet tooth. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Visit our refreshment center now.
There's plenty of time to treat yourself to something good to eat at our refreshment center.
At our refreshment stand, your wish is our command. So the coffee we serve there is pure perfection.
folks. I'm Rico.
Oh, Nacho.
He's Peppy.
See?
You can find us at the concession stand in the lobby.
Along with all sorts of other tasty goodies.
See? Rico's Nachos, a refreshingly new and different snack discovery. Chock full of high-quality ingredients, crisp, fresh tortilla chips, covered with creamy aged cheddar cheese, topped off with zesty jalapeno pepper rings. Rico's Nachos, out of sight.
Remember, folks, we're the new star at the snack bar, Rico's Nachos, a new taste treat you can't beat.
See? Rico's Nachos, on sale at the snack bar now.
For your convenience, we have an attractive snack stand with buttered popcorn, golden good and hot from the popper, sizzling hot dogs cradled in fresh, fluffy buns, ice cream, and other good things to eat.
Fresh candies, all kinds, all flavors. Cigarettes, America's top brands. Ice cream, smoothly delicious. Burgers with all the fixings. Hot dogs the way you like them. Freshly buttered popcorn. French fries. Hot coffee. Pizza that's perfection.
Most of us will spend Memorial Day weekend with our families, watching parades, picnicking, golfing, just doing the things we enjoy. To top off a perfect weekend, may we suggest you see our special holiday show. It's an exceptionally entertaining program. So plan to relax and spend a few enjoyable hours with the family at this theater during the Memorial Day weekend.
It's intermission time. The show starts in 10 minutes. Yes, folks, it's intermission time. So how about taking a break? Get out and stretch a little and relax before the show begins again. And why not make it refreshment time, too? We have lots of tasty, delicious treats waiting for you at the refreshment center. There's hot popcorn, so golden good and fresh out of the popper. And all kinds of refreshing ice-cold soft drinks. Sizzling hot dogs just bursting with juicy goodness. Ice cream so smooth and delicious, you'll hanker for more. Plus, all the most popular candy bars and many other favorite treats. So why not visit the refreshment center now? Our courteous attendants are ready and waiting to serve you with a wide and wonderful variety of good things to eat and drink. So step right up and make yourself at home. The show starts in 9 minutes.
Intermission time. Time for that stretch you've been wanting. And best of all, time to take your pick from that scrumptious array of tasty treats waiting for you at the snack bar, where the popcorn's poppin', the cold drinks are sparkling, the hot dogs are sling, the coffee is steaming, and a luscious treasure of confectionery delights with ice cream and candy and so much more to tempt any taste is waiting for you now at the snack bar. You'll be notified in plenty of time when the next show is about to begin.
The show starts in 8 minutes.
Fresh candies, the flavors you love. Assorted drinks, your favorite beverages. Hot coffee. Hot dogs the way you like them. Ice cream smoothly delicious.
starts in 7 minutes.
And now meet the star of our show. Symbol of a treat that quality made famous. America's most famous ice cream treat, Eskimo pie. Creamy, delicious ice cream made even more exciting with smooth, rich chocolate coating and wearing the label of quality known the world over. Eskimo pie, the treat you know is tops because it carries its pledge of quality right on the back of the bag. Be sure you save the bags for valuable premiums. Get famous Eskimo pie at our refreshment stand now. It's America's anytime taste treat. Finest ice cream, finest chocolate. It's delicious.
Popcorn hungry? We have it. Kettle from the popper. There are other treats for you, too, such as fresh candies and ice cream. Visit the refreshment center now. Enjoy a delicious snack and ice-cold Coca-Cola.
Music to the ears of the hungry. The sizzle of a mouth-watering hamburger. Fresh, lean beef, done to a golden brown, couched in a soft bun, and garnished to taste. Man, that's hunger heaven. And you'll feel like you're heaven sent when you get one at our refreshment stand.
Thirsty? Take care of that in a delicious way with one of our ice-cold beverages. You'll find your favorite flavor in our big selection of soft drinks.
Cash. Here's your chance to win some. Your treasure card is valuable and may be worth $100 in cash. Each adult admission or 50 cents purchase at the refreshment stand earns a punch on your treasure card. When the card is completely punched out, present it to the theater manager. He will then open the secret panel on the card, and you will receive your treasure award of $1, $5, $10, $20, $50, or $100 in cash. Other prizes include 2 to 10 passes to our lucky patrons. The treasure card is void if the secret panel is tampered with. Remember, every card is a winner. Thousands of dollars in valuable awards. So be sure to take the treasure card with you when you attend this theater and to the refreshment stand to be punched with every 50-cent purchase. Every card is a winner.
The show will start in 5 minutes.
The big ship foundered on the rocks, but the crew all got ashore. Then Fearless Fred dived in again and swam toward the wreck once more.
You'll never make it!
The waves are too high. But he made it back to land.
I had to return to the ship.
He explained.
For my toddy, the chocolate drink that's just grand. Toddy does taste grand. At the snack bar or at your car. During intermission, enjoy a toddy, the delicious chocolate drink in a can. Ice cold or steaming hot, toddy hits the spot with everybody. See how much better that popcorn or those hot dogs taste with toddy.
Delicious.
Refresh yourself. It's intermission time. The concession stand is open and ready to serve you.
Till showtime. Why not add to your enjoyment with a delicious confection and drink at our attractive refreshment stand? 2 minutes till showtime. Tempt your taste with the wide variety of mouth-watering snacks available at popular prices at our refreshment stand. 1 minute till showtime. Satisfy yourself with a thirst-quenching drink. Your favorite.
Check, testing what? Fuck it.
Yeah, baby. Good morning, everyone. It is 5 a.m. on the Pacific Coast here. I am Michael. I'm Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy. I will be your host this morning for a whole bunch of nothing. Thank you for joining me. I had a great week last week with my house guest and YouTube buddy, Joey. I'll have to see if I can get a picture for y'all. Y'all. Oh, really? It was a great camping trip. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I am gonna pardon me, that bong hit was really, really good. Made me cough like crazy. My nose is still runny. Good morning, Joey. Great to hear from you, brother. I'm glad to hear that you got home sound and safe, and congratulations on your raise. Dude, it's not everybody that can go on vacation and come back and get a raise. Usually they go on vacation and come back and get crap. You know, before you left, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. And we had a horrible time finding something because you were gone. Right? Instead, Joey goes back and he gets a raise. You're my hero, dude. You the man. You're the man. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. We'll see. There you go. Well, that's a great way to transfer or switch jobs if that's in the works, because you're in demand, bro. You are in demand, and that is cool. That's what people want. They want an employee that everybody else wants. Hey, we got him. We got him. We got him. That's what they want to say. We got Joey. Right? That's what they want to say. That's awesome sauce, man. That's totally bitchin' stuff. Wow, I'm still reeling from that bong hit. I got some new stuff this morning. This morning, because last night I picked up some HG33. I have no idea what any of that fucking homegrown in 1933. I don't know. It's really good, though. It's got a great flavor and a great head change, you know. I picked it up last night, and I probably had 2 bong hits. It was just so righteous. For the rest of the night, that's all I had was like 2 bong hits. I had dinner, and then a bong hit, and then later on I'm like, wow, I think I'll have another bong hit before I go to sleep. Yeah, I won't be smoking this stuff and going cruising around, I'll tell you that. But my wife's going to be driving. This is awesome. So our town, our tiny little town of Yucca Valley up the road here, where my daughter went to high school, they're having a little Renaissance festival this weekend. I imagine, since it's free, it's not going to be all that big and exciting. But I dare say that I want to go check it out, because I used to do the Southern California Renaissance fairs in San Bernardino County back in the 90s, and they've switched to Agora Hills, which I believe is LA County. Don't hit me if I'm wrong. Oh, my nose. I'm sorry about that. I know it must sound horrible on the audio there. That sounds better. The sipping of coffee sounds better. There was this movie that we watched last night. One of these Western movies got over with. I was watching the end of it, and all of a sudden another one popped on, and I'm like, honey, a Western just started. So she shuts off the bedroom and comes out and hangs out with me, and we watch this old black and white Western. The only notable actor in it was Sebastian Cabot of Family Affair, Mr. French, the butler, right? He is really good at playing a shitheel. You just want to kick him in the face. He's so good at it. And he was the only notable name in this movie was Sebastian Cabot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to IMDb, IMDb. I am. DB. I am. Okay, I'm going to the website. IMDb. That is Internet Movie Database. That's where I get all of my information about TV and movies. And I'm going to go Sebastian Cabot. There he is. Alright, so because he's the only notable actor. Now, there's one other actor that was in this thing, and he played the lead. The only thing is that I've seen him before, but I could not. Sebastian Cabot died in 1977 at 59 years old. Wow, he was young. That's right, he was in the Jungle Book. Bagheera the Panther. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's see. Here we go. It was a black and white movie. And I'm going to say it was from the 60s. I saw the movie from the start, but I can't for the life of me remember the title of this movie. March. Now, the other gentleman that I recognized in it was in the TV miniseries The Blue and the Gray. And he played John Brown in The Blue and the Gray. And in this one, he was the lead. Let's see. Checkmate. The Sword and the Stone. Suspense. My Three Sons. Mr. Ed. The Family Jewels. Bravo. Duke TV movie. No. I don't think that was it. Circle of Fear. No, that's another movie. Doing a lot of stuff in the 60s and 70s. Alright, so let's go and see if one of these weird things is it here. Bravo Duke TV movie. Small, casino, cantina in Mexico. That's not it. The Flood. Seven Thieves. No. The Angry Hills. Terror in a Texas Town. Ha! That's it. Terror in a Texas Town. A Swedish whaler is out for revenge when he finds out that a greedy oil man murdered his father for their land. So that is the movie, and the lead in it is Sterling Hayden. That's who that gentleman is. Let's go to Sterling Hayden and see if I am correct that he is the guy from The Blue and the Gray, and that's his last credit as John Brown, 3 episodes. That's it. Before that, it's Venom, Gas, and 9 to 5, The Outsider, Winter Kills, King of the Gypsies, 1900. He's a great, great actor, Sterling Hayden. Does a great Swede. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh. So what's going on, Joey? What are you doing there? Are you asleep already? I wouldn't doubt it. The way they ride you. But hey. Recognition, man, that's everything. Getting a raise, that's cool. I think they've been watching my show and they know you're thinking about leaving. They're like, oh man. See what he's talking about. Watch the show. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, it is Monday, which means it's Monday Movie Memories Monday. Nothing much, huh? Well, right on, man. I can dig it. First of all, let's change TV guide. This is last week's TV guide. That is Dan Haggerty and Ben of Grizzly Adams, the TV show. That was a great movie. The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams. That movie, I remember walking into the theater just as he was up on this ridge, hiking, right? And the camera, the helicopter was really high, and it was watching him hike this ridge, right? And we walked in just as he was rescuing Ben, the little bear cub. And that was a heavy movie for a guy to just drop everything and run off and live in the mountains because he was accused of murder, and he knew that he was going to get a raw deal. How screwed up is that when Western justice was so fucking horrible that you had to run off and hide. Let's see. Let's take this TV guide here. Ooh, next week's is going to be great. Let's see. Yep, we got this week and then next week, and then we're going to have to probably play around with... we might keep this one a couple of weeks, actually, because this one starts on the 12th, which is Thursday, and it ends on the 18th, which is Wednesday. So we'll probably keep this one into next week, just for the hell of it, because we're low on June TV guides. So this TV guide is from the... Come on, give me a date. There we go. This one is also from 1976, one of my favorite years for television. This is for the week of June 12th through June 18th, 1976. And on the cover here we have David Jansen and one of my favorite actors, Anthony Zerbe. Anthony Zerbe and David Jansen of Harry O. That was a 1-hour drama. It was it was okay. I'm a real big Anthony Zerbe fan, so I probably would have enjoyed it. And I think next week we are going to get into reading The Weekend, so we've got something to do more during the day, since this week we are going to, poke around with Monday here and see what we got going on here. Let's just take a look at Monday. Let's see. I'll tell you what. This week we'll alternate. Today we're going to look at the morning stuff here. Morning till evening on June 14th, Monday, 1976. Good Morning America with David Hartman at 7. You know what? Good Morning America. Let me close my TV guide drawer here. That deserves a sip of coffee. But before I get into this, I think I want to get further into talking with Joey this morning before he decides to take off and go to sleep, because that's usually the case. Was it your first night back to work last night or the night before? I would imagine you came back and went to work Sunday night, which would have been last night, so maybe that was your first night back to work. I guess your flight was uneventful. The van still has stuff in it. It still has camping gear still in the back, and a few pillows and sleeping bag still bouncing around the back of the van. And the van still smells like campfire. I keep spraying the van and it still smells like campfire. That's not a bad thing. But it smells like it was right next to a house fire or something, so I need to keep spraying it. I think a lot of soot got into it. Yeah. Totally, man. We vegetated after you left. We vegetated. We didn't do much of anything after you left. Actually, the house was really kind of quiet, and we were all kind of sad that you were gone. Yeah, for a day or two, we were like, Joey this, Joey that, Joey this, Joey that. Mom's enamored. She just kept saying, oh, Joey, oh, Joey. Oh, Joey. Which is really cool. You get on Mom's good side, and you're set, buddy. Yeah, what else did we do? Not much, really. Yesterday we drove back to Lucerne, the little town you drive through on your way up the mountain. Last night was your first night back. That's what I thought. We drove out to Lucerne to see my wife's brother, who's now living just a short hour away. It's pretty awesome. So we drove out and hung out for a couple of hours and had lunch with Jose. Lunch with Jose. And it was pretty cool. And we just hung out, and he had picked up some. They did a handoff. One of the brothers was coming from Mexico, stopped off in San Diego County, saw some family there and dropped off some things, and then swung into Victorville, and Jose went up and met him in Victorville, did a handoff, and he handed off some more family stuff. And usually it's oh yeah, we totally missed you. You better be back. So the usual thing that they bring up is food, comfort food from home, and it's usually big handmade flour tortillas that are as big as a bicycle tire, and there's usually a stack of those, and they're already cooked and hard, so they make the trip. And sometimes they'll send up enchilada sauce in the moldy, just the hard ball that you got to then cook up, add stuff to it to finish it off. This time they sent along just some pretty much just some tortillas, and then Jose's girlfriend made pan. She made some great morning pan, some dulces, some conchas, and some other bread. And then she got some other stuff. But it's great because I told the girls last night, I said, I'm almost brought to tears every time my wife is sitting there at our home eating tortillas made on her mother's kitchen stove, right? Out they have a little kitchen outside, covered patio, terracotta bricks, and an outdoor place to cook tortillas and beans and food and stuff. And it's just, I've always wanted to go there and just sit in that kitchen, right? And so it really makes me feel really, really good inside to see my wife in our house eating food sent by her mother, made by her mother in her mother's house. So that's one of those things where I get all misty-eyed and googly and stuff. So, yeah. Like when Joey sends me something in the mail, same thing happens. I get all misty and stuff. Because nobody ever sends me anything. Nobody ever sends me gifts or does any of that stuff. Nobody ever celebrates my birthday or anything. So when somebody, that I've only known for, less than a year and a half, 2 years, right? Not only sends me gifts, but visits me more than anyone in my family. That's kind of weird, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It's awesome. So yeah, you better be back. You'd better be back. I'll come get you. And Mom threatening to come over there. That was funny. She don't travel. This country makes it too impossible for people of color to travel comfortably and safely, and it's horrible, right? I would feel more comfortable going to Mexico than my wife would feel going to, Virginia, and that's just the way it is, and that's just horrible. Mainly because I would want to drive, and we would have to drive through states that disagree with humanity, with being courteous and kind to people who are different. So, and those states, you know who I'm talking about. You know who you are. I'm right next door. I'm in California, and one of my closest state neighbors is just horrible when it comes to people of brown skin. People, their southern neighbors, right? It's horrible. It's just horrible. So, yeah. And if you go into the TV guide and you find a news broadcast, and then find that news broadcast from like 1976, everything is all hunky-dory and everything, but politics, they never change. If it's a talking point, if it is something that a politician can use to sway us one way or the other, it's never going to go away, right? Homelessness never going to go away. Border disputes never going to go away. Racial injustice, female inequality, all of these things are never going to go away, because, at least not in the next couple of generations, because they're still used to control us, to sway us, to get us to think or feel or act a certain way, in a way that they usually will program into us. So there you go. I better do this bong hit and get off my high horse, or get back on the high bong here. I feel like I'll probably be doing fewer bong hits this morning, because that stuff is really damn good. It's got the great flavor. I'm like a connoisseur of marijuana. I better be, right? This one's got a great nose, right? It smells really, really good. It smells sweet. It smells piney. Piney, fruity, and it's pungent. It's really pungent. I keep seeing the message, "I'll be back," and I'm like, where'd you go? I know you're here. You'll be back here. Here is where you'll be back. I totally get it, man. I totally get it. I'm still in sleep mode. Let's introduce an album. One of my favorites, album of the day for Monday, June 9th, 2025. The album of the day is The Lightning Fingers of Roy Clark. All right. I first remember seeing Roy Clark. Oh wow, wrong one. I like how there's darkness around that picture there. Looks like I'm looking through a telescope into my desk. So the first time I saw The Lightning Fingers of Roy Clark, not this album, but his Lightning Fingers, the first time I saw him perform would have to be, somewhere in the 1960s. For me, it was the 1970s. For me, I was watching him on a rerun of The Odd Couple. That's where I first remember seeing him. And he played a distant cousin of, or something like that, some kind of relative of the Felix Unger character, Tony Randall, right? So he came to visit, and Tony Randall is supposed to get him, I think, like an interview, or what do they call that? He's supposed to go play for somebody in hopes to get a job, right? And he's supposed to play this classical, really heavy classical stuff, right? So I think he plays like Malagueña, right? And what he really likes to play is country western stuff, and so he plays some of that on the show. And then of course, Hee Haw. And then of course, Hee Haw. That's the first memorable thing, was on that, because it was just him and that guitar and the two guys that I loved watching on TV, right? So that's why it sticks as the first memory of Lightning Fingers. But then, of course, after that, all I remember him in is Hee Haw. And that was a great show. We watched that not too long, a few years back. We watched a couple of seasons of that because it was on and it was streamable, so we watched it and it was fun. I think it was on Roku or something. But it was great. Yeah. Great. Good stuff. Let's see if we can find Lightning Fingers. Good old Lightning Fingers. I'm going to get on here on the tuber and see if I can find some Lightning Fingers. Yes. Yowza. Yowza, indeed. It's, I say yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. Sterling Hayden. What a great actor. I mean, he was just so believable in everything that he said. He must have been a theater actor at some point, because he could boom to the back audience like that. In the Blue and the Gray, his last role, he did a courtroom where he sit there and hold his lapel and lament about the war, and why he was driven to help his oppressed black brothers and sisters. And it just, oh man, that big beard that he had. My wife looks at me like, how do you, if you had a big giant beard, how would you even recognize him, right? The voice, that booming voice. As soon as I'm looking at it, I'm going, who is that? It's not Ed Begley Sr. He's really tall, he's blonde, but his face is different. Who is this guy? And then he started delivering these lines matter-of-factly, and I was like, with the Swedish accent, and I'm like, wait a second. Aha! John Brown. I love those moments when I've got that puzzle in my head, that conundrum of who is that voice? Who are those eyes looking back? All I can see are the eyes. Who are the eyes? The eyes and the voice. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? And then it pops into my head. I remember being on a camping trip. Gosh. It was like forever ago. 1986. I'm going to say 1986, 87. On the back of my friend's motorcycle, following his dad on the back of his motorcycle, who was pulling was he pulling a trailer? I think he was pulling a little trailer filled with a bunch of gear, right? And we were coming back. We had gone up the coast of California to Oregon, and we were coming back down through the 5, not the 1, but we were now inland, so we were coming down, and then we shot over the volcanic mountain Lassen, and we shot over and then down into like Susanville, and then came down through the desert, down 395, and we're at like Lake Crowley on 395 south of Mammoth Lakes, and we're sitting around a campfire with my friend Steve's old father, and he's an old guy, right? So he's like in his, I think by this time he's in his 50s. And he had fought in like the Korean War. So he's an old fart. And he was in the Navy, I believe. And now he was a correctional officer. And we were with him as he toured correctional facilities up and down California, right? So we would literally pull into a penitentiary work farm type thing and get a tour. And then go camp, and then drive, and then camp, and then go to another one. And we went to like 4 of these things. And he did that because then his vacation he could write off and have them pay for it, I guess. And it was like, why not? And we got to see these different penitentiary correctional facilities around the state of California, which was really, really educational. I knew before that I didn't want to go to prison. That just solidified the fact in me that I was never going to go to prison, no matter what. I was never going to do anything to go to prison. Someday I'll tell you about the time that I was falsely accused and almost went to prison. I'll tell you about that sometime. But I knew going on this trip around California, touring these things, that was not the life for me. And therefore, I was going to do what I could to stay out of trouble. The only thing that I was ever really into that could get me into trouble was marijuana, And it was the acquiring of the marijuana and using of the marijuana that could have gotten me sent to prison. Because of the war on drugs, it was a war against the average person who would like to smoke marijuana, right? Pretty ridiculous. Looking back now, the way things are now, I mean, I'm on television here smoking my shit live. So things are a lot different, right? But back then, you'd be persecuted, People hid it because they didn't want their family and friends to know that they were a pot smoker, because it could get your job lost. It could screw things up. Your family would leave you, My grandfather once told my father, "If I ever catch you smoking marijuana or find out that I'll kill you. I'll kill you because I'm doing you a favor." That's how the mentality was back then. It was all so old school, steeped in bullshit and propaganda and the war on drugs. Yeah, it was pretty lame. But what are you going to do? That's just the way it was. We all knew back then that it was going to change eventually. We all knew back then that someday you were going to be able to walk into a store and buy the shit. We did. And it's because of people like me who knew back then, we made it happen today. And that's why you can walk into a store today and buy some marijuana. Show your ID. I'm an adult. They give me my shit. That is probably one of the most heaviest futuristic things that I'm living in right now, is the fact that I can just stop by the pot shop. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend smoking. It's not good for you. At some point, it don't matter anymore if you've been smoking as long as I have and as much as I have. So, but don't smoke. Any of you adults out there watching, and there should not be any children watching unless you're accompanied by an adult. Children or adults, you should not smoke. I got 2 packs of cigarettes here unopened to remind me that I should not smoke cigarettes, because I gave up cigarettes so that I could just have one vice. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do any other drugs or any other pills or anything. I just smoke marijuana. And occasionally I will eat some edibles. But that's me. That's my vice. That's my thing, and I'm sticking to it. I've gone many times in my life without it. At least 2 hours. No, I've gone years without marijuana, and I was just never happy. I just felt I never got any excitement out of life. If I wasn't, then sometimes I would just have to take antidepressants because there was just nothing in life. Everything was just kind of and then the antidepressants were even worse, right? They would just flatten all my emotions. So I gave it all up and just went back to pot because I knew that I went back because of pain from a work injury, and I wanted to get off the pain pills. So it was like, you know what, I got to give up smoking, I got to give up these pain pills, I got to do this, I got to do that, and marijuana seemed like the logical choice to help me, if you want to call it a crutch, whatever, but to help me find some kind of normal life. Just like my wife asked my daughter, so what do the gummies do for you, right? The edible gummies, the marijuana. And my daughter, who's at the university now, studying it, she's off. But her response was, they make me feel normal. And I just like, wow, where do I remember that from, right? She said it makes me not nervous, not tense, not worried. It just makes her feel normal. She's relaxed. She's able to enjoy life and not be all worked up about what do I, this, that, and the other. And that right there is what was programmed into her from school, from her earliest days in school, was to always be, I got to do this, I got to do something. And we joke with her on occasion, and we'll walk into a room and she'll be sitting like on the computer or something, and we'll say like, ¿Tienes tarea? And it'll be like, do you have homework? And she'll look up and go, no, and that's what school does to her. Makes her, just on edge about getting shit done all the time. And I can't wait until she finishes this bachelor's degree and hopefully decides to go back and get a bachelor's in art, music, something like that, right? Because then I think if she ended on that note, and it wouldn't be hard, a couple of classes here, transfer, go down and study for a year or so down at the university and just do a bunch of art classes. I think she would end on a fantastic note, getting what she would feel good about out of the education stuff, and graduating from here, from the local school and the local college, her tuition would be free. Having graduated with a bachelor's from the university, I'm sure that she could work something out with them, because if she were to go back to get another bachelor's, it's only going to make them look good as a university. So I'm sure they would want to figure out how to get her in there. So, and then she's going to graduate from the satellite campus in Palm Desert, which means she'd have to go for art, she'd have to go to the main campus and to get a bachelorette, so to speak. Going to their campus. Oh man, what a boon for them, right? So, whatever it takes to keep her focused on bettering herself for the betterment of herself, right? Not planning for the future, but planning for a future somehow. That's it. That's all. Nothing fancy. Just getting her done. Okay, so this morning, it's Monday morning, of course, and As usual on Monday morning, blah, 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 weekend this, last week that, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to hold off on the TV guide because we only have a limited amount of time here. I'm going to try to forego doing, a zillion bong hits here, mainly because the stuff's so damn good. Glasses. I actually had to pull my bifocals out last night. Boy. Okay, so I'm going to drag over the old Monday morning movie memory box here. And inside this box, we have the movie of the week, the movie that I urge you people to check out. It is, have we done any Steven Spielberg movies? I'm a big fan of, we have the Sugarland Express. I am a big fan of early Steven Spielberg. There are only a few things that I've seen post-1980s out of Steven Spielberg that I've enjoyed or even seen, right? But for me, it's like the 70s and 80s were like the Spielberg era. So one of my favorite movies, and this movie is from 82? Or is it 19? Oh man, don't make me get my glasses out. Alright, let me see here. There's a bigger 1981. Okay, 1981. So this is a 1981 movie, Steven Spielberg, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. All right, and it is a movie about a gentleman, actually many people, who are given telepathically given a signal in their brain to meet somewhere, right? And so all kinds of people are driven to kind of create an image of a representation of where they're supposed to go, and then they're supposed to use this to find that place and go there. So they're drawn to this place. So he finds himself just trying to create a sculpture of this thing that he can't understand, right? And then he's driven to go there once he finds out what it is. And I won't give any of this away if you haven't seen it. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Steven Spielberg, one of my favorite movies of all time. It is pre-E.T. He said he did E.T. because he wanted to have a friendly alien. He wanted to do another alien movie, but he wanted to do an alien where we actually get to meet the alien, and it's a friendly alien. And that's why we get E.T. after this. So Close Encounters, one of my favorite movies. I have this movie not only on this here DVD, but I also have it on Laserdisc. So this is my laser video disc version. So I have two Laserdiscs. This is pre-DVD, would be this one here. Okay, this is a big giant DVD is all it is, and there's two of them in here. It's a double deal. So there's two laser video discs in this thing here. And while I don't have a laser disc player, I am going to keep these until I do, so that I can play these dudes, because they are, like I said, this is one of my favorite movies. I also have the soundtrack. This is the music from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, right? So this is the actual. Do 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 do. There you go. Wow, man. The Abduction of Barry. Oh, that's a heavy one there, when the little kid gets yanked. And he just gets attacked in the house and then runs off into the woods. Barry! 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 Goes running off, and he's gone. And this is not the first time that he takes off. He keeps trying to get to the aliens because he's drawn to them. Both him and his mother have been implanted with that vision to go to someplace and meet up with the aliens. And if you know anything about Northwestern American geography and geology, then you recognize where they are drawn to, right? So in this one here, I also have the music from the Close Encounters of the Third Kind on 8-track unopened, but then I also have the soundtrack, which is very similar. Eternal Pursuit, The Abduction of Barry, so the programming is different. Night Siege is not on one, but it's on the other. The Conversation, the Appearance of the Visitors. Yeah, it's got a few things on one that are not on the other. So that's pretty neat. So there we go there. So there's my Close Encounters collection. Also in that collection is me. Because if you've ever spent any time with me, you had a close encounter of the fourth kind. So there you go. Alright, so I am going to park this stuff up here, and I am going to, since it's the movie of the week, I'm going to park that there. And then there's Close Encounters, and then there's the movie, right? And then there's an 8-track there, and then there's another 8-track here, and there's just all kinds of stuff. So there we go. There's my stuff. And if you look real close, you can see my guitar there because it's parked in the living room. Last night I decided to bust it out and practice. So I just turned it on, plugged it into my little Boss digital recorder mixer thingy, and then jacked that right into my little DeWalt portable Bluetooth speaker, and just sat in the living room and jammed. I'm not any good, but it's fun, and I can't wait for Joey to come back so I can put him on the drums, and then we can jam. Any better of taking his drumsticks to practice. What are you doing? All you need is to get on Marketplace or Craigslist or something and find somebody giving away a drum or a drum kit, something for really, really cheap. A Ludwig, a Pearl, a Tama, and get just a snare and a stand if that's all you can get, right? But get a drum kit. Pick up a drum kit. It's really cheap. And my first drum kit I picked up for $50, and it was a Ludwig, and I picked that up here about 10 years ago or so. And I had it for a couple of years, and I played it a half dozen times. But every time I played it, I got better, and I started off really, really good. Why? Because I had the music in my head. And if you ever sit and air drum or sit and bang on stuff like I used to do in school and get in trouble, knock that off, then you've got something in you, and all you have to do is cultivate that. So yeah, we'll get Joey on the drums, and then I can sit there and have something to jam with, and then we'll get the rest of the family involved, and we'll put a little band together. We were watching The Bondsman over the weekend. My wife and I didn't do much over the weekend. So what we did do is we binge-watched the entire series, 8 episodes, of Kevin Bacon's The Bondsman on Prime. It was really, really good. I'm a Kevin Bacon enthusiast. I'm a Kevin Bacon lover. I love me some bacon. Bacon. Good stuff, baby. Yeah. Great cast. Great story. It's a different, backwards, half-assed, version of reality that just, yeah, they kill it. It's awesome. It's just weird, but it's great. Okay, let's see. I'm going to type in Lightning Fingers of Roy Clark. 1963. There we go. 1963 full album. View playlist, 12 videos. Looks like it's all from that. Yeah, that's great. Copy. Get on over here. We're going up. I better turn off the sound for the YouTuber there. What do we got here? What do we got? Hey, look, there it's me. Hey, that's me over there. I'm looking at myself. Okay, lightning fingers. Let's paste. There we go. Full album right there in front of you. Oh, wait. I better go over here. Arr. Boop, boop. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, what was I going to do? I was going to do close encounters. There it is, right up there, right up front, right there in front of y'all. And we seem to have commercials here. Oh, my comments went away. I better just open it up over here. What? What? I don't want that there. I'm just screwing around here trying to find the Close Encounters movie, 19. There it is. That's not a great version of it. That's not a great version of it. The official trailer. I'll give you the official trailer because you're going to want to find it in a better form than what YouTube viewers are offering to watch. Now, YouTube, you can buy it, rent it from YouTube. Sometimes you can even watch it commercial free. Sometimes you have to watch the commercials. Here they have it on YouTube. You can buy it or rent it. But they do have the director's cut, which is cool. Right. Totally right. Alright, come on. Let me get the, no. Take me home. Take me to my channel. I want to go to my stuff. Let me view my channel. Hey, there it is. Alright, we are going to click on my show here, where I don't know how we got kicked off of this thing here. And comments, and go back to comments, and paste. And there we go. And there is the trailer for Close Encounters. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and that just means that it is a physical contact with an alien being. Close Encounters of the Second Kind is when you are shit, I don't know. I know the first is of the first kind is just seeing it, right? So and we got, what is that, a 1977 movie? Oh, 81, I'm sorry. No. Movie trailer. That's what it is. Okay, there we go. Alright. I've done my job. So there you go. Check it out. It's a great flick. And you have a week. You have a week to check it out. That's it. Because next week we'll have another movie. And another. And another. And it just keeps on going. What was I thinking about? I don't remember. I I don't remember. Do you? I was going to ask my chicken, but my chicken don't know. So there you go. Yeah, I'm pretty much out of it this morning. Let's see. We got through the movie. Oh, I know. We have to watch the educational film today, and it stars Maureen McCormick, Marcia, from the Brady Bunch, and it's like 1975, so it's right, I believe, at the end of the Brady Bunch, and she plays a younger sister. Well, we're going to get into it. She plays a younger sister who's expected to go off to college. And I'll leave it at that. But Maureen McCormick, she looks kind of, to be honest, she looks kind of strung out in this. She looks like she's been rode hard and put away wet. No, it looks like she's been through the ringer. It looks like Hollywood chewed her up, spit her out, and she's trying to find herself, and the only job she can get is, a 13-minute educational film. And in some places you can see that she's not acting. She's just, man, I'm doing I was star of the world, and now I'm doing this crappy little thing. And I'm sure she's trying to convince herself that it's for good and a good cause. And it's actually hosted by a young Beau Bridges, Jeff Bridges' brother, son of actor. Oh, geez, I can't remember his name. Jeff Bridges, and he's an old. Always plays an old man. Always played an old guy. He did a commercial back in the '80s. When I was a boy, we didn't have any toys. We played with our shoes. Right? He's a funny guy. I can't remember his name, of course. That just sucks. But we're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this film here, pretty dang quick, actually, because it's only about, like I said, about 13 or 14 minutes long, and it doesn't even have an opening on it. It just starts. So we're just gonna put it on and watch it, and then we're gonna talk about it, and we can talk about how she looks, Marcia Brady, and she just and it's not one of those Hollywood films, so you can tell she doesn't have a makeup person, and you can see kind of that she feels uncomfortable in her own skin, right? And it's quite possible that in this film she's having to be sober. It's possible that she's, either drinking or using or something going on, and for the film she has to refrain. So we'll see if we can catch her mood changing. We'll see if we can catch her personality shifts as she's either not or possibly could be using drugs or alcohol. So I don't know. We know by her own admission in some of her stories that she had a hell of a time dealing with fame and the after effects of fame and all of that. So, and the shit that the show and Hollywood does to your head. I think what I should probably do is get some more coffee and warm it up, get it real hot. So listen along as I go do that. I'm going to top this off here with a little coffee and creamer and heat it up. I'll be right back. So, could you hear my house creaking as I walk through the house? Creak, creak, the floor. It's just horrible. Joe could attest to that. This place is kind of saggy. My house is saggy. I keep kind of nudging and urging my wife and daughter to think about possibly moving at some point after my daughter graduates. It'd be nice if I was still alive for that. I don't know that we could do it any sooner because she's at university and this is kind of the cheapest place, closest, you know. So after that, if we were to like move to some place like Big Bear, where college or the university would just be about the same drive, about an hour away or so, but it would be just down the mountain to the school and then back down to San Bernardino and then up. So I was kind of hoping that at some point we could think about moving to Big Bear. I don't know how that would work. We'd have to find a really small little house, something that we could get for a song, and preferably buy it, or put a huge down payment on it so the monthly payments were just minimal, or you know, just a couple of balloon payments and just get it out of the way, something like that, right? I don't deal with the money in the family because I took myself out of that loop. So I just have to kind of throw the idea at the girls and let them kind of ponder it and see if it's a valid idea. It would be nice to have a little house in Big Bear with a little tiny home out back, and do something like that, and you know, a little 1 or 2 bedroom house, and then a little tiny home out back for mom and dad, and then a little yard for the dogs, and you know, have a little tiny little mountain life for a while. That is hot and beautiful. That calls for a bong hit. So let's see. I'm going to pop over to my PC here and get rid of that there. Now, the movie that we're watching today can be found on my channel. At any time, you can go to my channel and you can find that movie there. And I believe I put that, there it is. And it is 15 minutes long. And as I said, it does not have opening credits. It just starts. So I think we're going to wait a few more minutes before we start that, so we can kind of give ourselves about a half an hour after that for the rest of the show. So at this point, this is where the host of the show does another bong hit. Totally, baby. Yeah. You know, I wish I could do more on this house, this mobile home here, but when your mobile home is up on jack stands, it's kind of hard to work on it safely when you're living in it too, and it's powered and has gas and everything. It's just kind of, it's difficult, you know. I would rather leave this place and just get as much as we can for it cash, and then just invest that in something else, you know. I could build a tiny home from scratch, but where to put it, right? We could probably buy a tiny home for a decent price. There's also travel trailers. We could just buy a nice travel trailer and live in it, in a yard, in a little piece of property, a little house in Big Bear. It would be nice to have a little garage, a little room in the house, or a garage that was for things that we cannot fit in the tiny home or the travel trailer, whichever. So that there is one room in the house or in the garage that is essentially this room, right? All of the collection of history, and a corner to do this. Hey, that's all I require in a house. My wife requires a big kitchen and laundry. Aside from that, I was telling her that out in Landers and Lucerne and out in that area, they got those little one-room cabins that you can buy. And I'm like, well, there's a start, right? Buy a one-room cabin, fix it up, and then park a travel trailer out there, get a cargo container, storage container, park it on another side so you block stuff off, string some canopies, and then build some little 12 by 12 buildings, you know, something that you can build without code, without permit, and then connect them with some porches, and then in each one of those little rooms you can turn one into a bedroom. 12 by 12 is about as big as a track home bedroom, right? The bedrooms our bedrooms are like 10 by 11 or something. The houses that we do Airbnb, the average size of the small bedrooms is like 10 by 11, right? They're not huge. A 12 by 12 storage room would be about the size of an average bedroom, right? You tack on a little water closet toilet, so you got a portable, a personal bathroom to go to, put a little sink and kitchenette in one corner, so you got a place to wash your hands and heat up coffee and stuff. And that's it. Make a couple of those, turn one into a little library, turn one into a little studio like this. Just every year build a couple of those. They're real easy to build. I mean, if I don't even try, I can build a little 12 by 12 room in 6 months, and that's with working a couple of hours a day, right, by myself. So imagine a couple of people working on fixing up a house or a piece of property and making it happen, you know. That's fun. I would also prefer to move to Colorado. Not Colorado Springs, because that's a little too much, but outside Pueblo, Colorado would be great because it's big, it's got university, it's got work, it's got people, shopping, all of that stuff. But you can also go within an hour away and you're in the sticks. So, yeah, Pueblo. I believe one of the first states to legalize. I do believe. I'm going in, people, cover me. Yeah, baby. No, really. Am I gone? So before we get started on the movie, back to the weekend and last week and camping and stuff. We went to Big Bear, and of course Joey was our guest over here. He came out, took a vacation, and came out here just to get away. And he said, I just want to get out, right? So I was like, well, we're going camping then. That's as out as you can get, right? And I guess it was his first time camping. Was it, Joey? I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great that you and my daughter hit it off and got along so well that it wasn't like, oh man, when does my plane leave, right? That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was fun. We're going to have to do that again. Yeah, when everybody approves, you know, how could you not want it to happen again? Even the dogs. They're like, hey, where's Joey? Hey, where's Joey? Yeah. Yeah. If you get the dog's nod, then you're in. I'm telling you, mom and the dogs. That's what it takes. Fun stuff. Yeah, I could almost reach out and touch my guitar here, huh? But I can't because it's over in the living room. Yeah. Let's see. The plan is to kind of gut this area over here in the corner and fill it with not my boxes, not my daily boxes, but with items that are too big to put in the box for shows. So boxes of 8 tracks, typewriters, reel-to-reel stuff, projectors. We're going to do a film day because I've dragged all of my films out from underneath my bed, and I'm going to bring them out, stack them here. I'm going to put a table in front of my desk on occasion so I can stack things in the foreground here that you can see. So I'll have a little corner over here where I can put items for future shows. Once I get it on the show, essentially I can put it back in storage, pack it away, label it as, clean, active, ready to use, or broken, easy belt, that kind of thing. So that's kind of cool. I've got a lot of stuff to get through. So I'm going to be bringing, like I was talking to Joey about when he was here, I got so much crap I'm going to have to double down and bring more on the show every day. So I'm going to be filling my boxes with more stuff. I'm going to make a place here to actually bring the box up and put it on the desk. And I'm going to really, like I said, just double down and bring as much of my own personal content and collection of crap here to the show. I want to put a table in front of my desk that I can stack all of my 8 tracks on. I want to build a wall of 8 tracks here so that during a show I will have to dismantle the wall of 8 tracks so that you can see me. Because from this camera angle here, you would just, the wall of 8 tracks would come pretty much to here if I used my card table. If I used a regular fold-out table, it would be all the way across this whole camera shot, which means that right here is where the 8-track would stop. The 8-track wall would stop, and it would be all the way across here. I have a lot. I could go, if I stack them all on top from one end to the other on a card table, stacking them like this, so you see the end, the label. If I stack them on a card table like that, or a fold-out table, 6-foot fold-out table, and stack them from end to end like this, and from the tabletop to the ceiling, that would not be all of my tapes. That would only be a portion of them. I would have to go out. Actually, that might be all that are loose. I think I could grab all out of this drawer over here, grab my box of 8 tracks, and then I've got a full shelf. It's 18 inches deep, it's 36 inches wide, and it's about 18 inches tall, the one shelf in my storage unit that's filled with 8 tracks. And it's filled from front to back, side to side, top to bottom, that one shelf. So that's a pretty chunky cube of 8 tracks. So if I brought that in, and this drawer, and that box that I have, and all of the loose ones around the house, I could make that wall easily. So there's an experiment. I could do it on my desktop here, actually. From side to side on my desk. If I did it on my desktop in the front here, all the way across, same thing. It would go all the way to the edge of my desk, and then you'd barely see, you wouldn't see me, you'd just see my microphone. I'd have to break it down so that you could see my face, or put a window in it or something, right? That would be crazy. Wow. And then, of course, knowing me, I would bump it warming up my coffee, and somebody in the room would wake up thinking there's an earthquake because it would just be a collapse of 8 tracks, right? That would suck. I would have to stack them so tall that I would have to wedge matchbooks in to keep them snug to the ceiling so that they can't just fall over. Not wedged so tight that they bow and then pop out like that, but just snug. What is he talking about? Why does he do this? I don't know. Let's start that movie. Let me go in here, and I am going to put on Maureen McCormick in the movie educational film I Only Want to Be Happy, right? So let me do that. Let me start that, and then we will watch it. Come on, baby. Let me turn on the sound and start. And start. Start. Okay, there we go. Here we go.
You must have left something out. No, Mom. Listen. There's a little father, and they have a wreck. Now, the father is killed. Okay? The little boy is hurt. They rush him to the hospital.
You sure do have a morbid sense of humor.
Mom, you're not even listening. Now, the surgeon rushes in and stops suddenly and says, I can't operate on this patient. This patient is my child.
It just doesn't make any sense.
The surgeon is his mother.
And?
The surgeon is his mother. That's the joke.
Well, all I can say is I wouldn't want my child operated on by a lady doctor.
Huh.
Hey! How can you say that when you know that Helen has just been accepted to med school?
Yeah.
Helen, I'm proud of you getting into med school. I know it's going to be a wonderful experience for you.
I know. You're thinking, maybe she'll marry a nice young doctor.
Or only do woman parts,
Well.
stuff, right?
Since you can read my mind, there's just no point in my saying anything else.
You're going to be a womanly doctor.
You know what I was really thinking? I was thinking, my Helen, a doctor, in one of those white uniforms. White? How will she ever keep it clean? You were the sloppiest, the dirtiest little girl I ever saw.
It wasn't just me. Remember how Drew used to cry when you made her put a dress on?
I did? I remember that. Sure you did. You had to be exactly like your big sister. Anything Helen did, Dewey did. My 2 tomboys.
Yep. Me and my little shadow.
At least in med school, you won't have time for any of that women's lib politics or whatever you call it. Those women are so hard and unattractive.
What women, Mother?
Hey, you two. Let's not start in again, okay? You know exactly what I'm talking about, Helen.
I know. You disapprove of me. You always have.
Well, that's so silly, I'm not even going to answer it. I only want you girls to be happy. Now, that is all I care about.
I didn't want to go through it by myself.
Ah! Hey!
Okay, so this girl here, not Maureen McCormick, but isn't she the one that did I Shot Andy Warhol? Just spitballing here.
Drew, you have turned this place into a jungle.
It is, a lot of plants. Is that a pot plant over there? Hey, right on.
Oh.
Ooh, there's some onion. There's an onion plant there on the dresser.
Are you okay? Oh, yeah, fine, really.
Really? I'm fine.
I'm a little depressed. I come home for one weekend and Daddy immediately sits down in front of the TV.
There you go.
And Mom starts in with her, I only want you to be happy routine. I only want you to be happy. That's all I care about. How many times, give or take 100, do you think she said that to us?
On her terms.
Helen, she does want you to be happy.
On her terms.
Sometimes
There you go.
Sometimes I think she's jealous. And that's why we don't get along.
Hey, Mom likes her life.
Do she think she likes her life?
So?
Isn't that it?
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Baby, the whole point is that 95% of the women in this country go around thinking that they like their lives. And then 25 or 30 years later, they wake up
No
and
more,
they...
Helen, please. Look, just don't keep harping on it.
All right. I won't.
Woman's liver.
So?
Well, so, how's your love life? Are you still going with that guy?
Which guy?
No, the one that's going to be a lawyer.
Howard. No. Yeah. He wanted to get serious. I mean, we were serious, but... No.
So, why'd you break up?
Well, for starters, he wanted me to do his laundry. Can you believe it? I guess the whole thing was my schoolwork was more important to me than he was. And he didn't like that at all.
Well, then it's probably a good thing that you broke up with him.
Yeah, that's what I think. As a matter of fact, to tell you the truth, he broke up with me. Listen, it wasn't that bad. In a way, it was kind of liberating. Sure, it hurt at first.
Ow.
But my schoolwork was more important to me. And that was 6 months ago. I've gone out a lot since then, and I've been having a good time.
Yeah. I learned how to play with a yo-yo.
I guess I heal pretty easy.
Easy? Easy now.
I'd really feel terrible if Norman and I broke up.
Norman?
Norman?
Howard?
You've practically been going together for half your lives.
So? You always liked Norman.
You owe yourself more than that, Drew. You know what? You're turning out to be a really terrific person. When you get to college, you are going to meet so many men. Drew? I'm not going to college.
I don't want to be a whore. I want one man.
Not going to college.
Ouch.
Drew, you didn't get turned down.
No, I got accepted. But I've thought about it a lot, and I don't want to go.
You are off your rocker.
No, I'm not. It's simple. I don't like school. I mean, I never did like school. The only reason why I got halfway decent grades was because I always had to keep up with you.
Do Mom and Dad know about this?
Well, I've talked about it with Mom.
Sure. And she agreed. Right? Well, she finally got to you.
Oh, man.
Well, now at least one of her daughters will do exactly what she did. Throw her life down the kitchen sink.
Hey. All you ever do is talk about what's wrong with everybody in this family. Who do you
She's
think
right.
you are, Helen?
She's a bitch.
I'm your sister. And I care about what happens to you.
But you're not her.
I just don't want to see you waste your life.
Who's to say?
You know, for somebody who's so smart, can really be stupid sometimes. I mean, you don't have to have a college education to be interesting or worthwhile or liberated.
She looks a
All
little
I
drunk
ask
there.
is that you not tie yourself down to your first job, your first boyfriend, in one teeny tiny little town that you've never even been out of in your whole life. You've got to give yourself a chance, Drew. How else are you going to find out who you are and what you want?
Maybe she already knows.
I used to practice your laugh. Really? I used to think that if I could only get your laugh right, that everything would be okay. Everything you did, I had to do too. But it's not like that anymore. In some really important ways, I'm not like you at all. I always thought that I was, but I'm not.
Look, it's your life.
Here it comes.
I only want you to be happy.
Oh.
Can you believe that? I just said to you what Mom always says to us. Yeah.
Programmed.
But I do.
On your
Want you to
terms.
be happy.
On your terms, just like Mom.
Well then,
Fuck off.
you're gonna have to stop telling me how to live my life.
No, fuck off.
Right.
Big sister. And their little tiny beds. We're still little girls.
I will.
My daughter's got a big person bed.
Good.
Here we go. Now for the conclusion.
Not long ago, few young women thought of a career as anything more than a stopgap on the road to ultimate fulfillment in the traditional roles of wife and mother.
Uh-huh.
Today, more and more women demand equality of opportunity, freedom of choice, and the right of every person to fulfill his or her potential.
More and more.
In the film, it's easy to laugh at the mother's negative attitude toward a woman doctor. But be honest. If you knew that you needed an operation and the surgeon turned out to be a woman, Would it make a difference?
Nowadays it wouldn't.
Where do we get these fixed ideas of proper masculine and feminine roles?
Society.
Are they based on real biological differences between men and women?
Our family.
Or are they hangovers from an earlier era, usually accepted without question? Is it only women whose lives are restricted by the pressures to conform to proper sex roles? Or are men's horizons also limited by fixed ideas of what is properly masculine? The film features two sisters, once very close, now moving in separate directions. One thing they still seem to share is the need for self-determination. Helen refuses to let her mother define her capabilities and limitations, and Drew refuses to let Helen define hers. Helen professes belief in self-determination, but does she practice it with Drew? If you believe someone you love is making a decision that may ruin her life, do you have the right to interfere? To use your influence any way you can? Do you believe that Drew is all that sure who she is and where she's going? Can't she know what she wants from life when she's experienced so little of the world? Should someone of 17 make important decisions that later may be hard to reverse?
And there you go. And that was I Only Want You to Be Happy. That's it. I guess she didn't look all that strung out in that. I think she was just channeling into her emotional side, because the second half of that was pretty heavily emotionally driven, right? The whole thing at the end there. The older sister, she was just really, really headstrong in the idea that, just like her mother, everyone had to live her way, right? Well, if you're a female, you have to live this way. If you don't live this way, you're fucking up your life. How dare you want to settle down and have a husband and be a mother and not go to college? How dare you, right? And it's just not like that. You know, I think it should be a choice. It should be everyone's equal choice to do whatever the hell they want with their life. And as parents, it's our jobs to be a positive influence to those children, and try to encourage them not to do what we would do, but to do what is right for them. And eventually, if you guide them enough, they will learn, by the time they're adults, to make those decisions on their own, and hopefully make the correct ones, because you've given them enough guidance, so that when my daughter goes out into the world and does things with friends, I can rely on her better judgment to take care of her, right? She would never go out and do underage drinking, and I know that from, you know, not just from what she shows me and what she tells me, but what I feel and what I see as a parent, right? So I feel really confident that she is got a good head on her shoulders, regardless of whatever she wants to do with her life. What I want to do with her life is exactly what I told her the other night, and it was the exact title of this film, which is kind of serendipitous almost that we're watching this film today, because I just the other night told my daughter, I just want you to be happy. That's why I ask these questions and talk to you about these things and engage in your life, is because I only want you to be happy, right? So as a parent, I understand that phrase. and I understand why the parent in the film used that phrase, I only want you to be happy. But is that going to be on my terms or your terms, right? You want me to be happy on your terms? We're probably going to have a rebellion, right? We're going to have there's going to be a mutiny aboard ship here. But if you want me to be happy, then on your terms, then it has to be through guidance. It can't be through rule of iron thumb. That just doesn't work. So I have always allowed my daughter to be a free thinker and to do what she wants to do on her terms. But I've also given her the knowledge and the wherewithal to know right from wrong and good from bad and do this and don't do that, right? So she doesn't have any siblings, so she's always come to us with questions and guidance, and and she still does today, because I would assume that she feels comfortable coming to me and asking me about things and talking to me about stuff, because I have gone out of my way as a father to make sure that she feels comfortable talking to me about anything, right? And even when she doesn't feel comfortable talking about it, she'll still talk to me about it, right? So there you go. And I'm not patting myself on the back as a father. I'm praising my daughter for turning out to be such a great human, a great person. When she came home from school in the junior high, I think, and said that it was high school, it was like 9th grade, and she said one of her teachers called her a rebel because she kept questioning the teacher about not about stuff, but about her job, about her ability to teach, and whether or not she was going to actually teach the class rather than just give assignments, right? And because she said she gets nothing out of this teacher. The teacher was just always doing her own thing and would just pass out stuff and wait for the kids to turn it in, grade it, and then tell them to read. And she would never lecture. She would never talk to them about. She was just she was just tenured, and she was checked out, right? How horrible is that? It's like, why don't you go work at McDonald's? If that's the best you can give, why call my daughter a rebel when she's just doing her job? She's a career student, right? You have to be. From kindergarten or preschool to the 12th grade or beyond, you have to be a career student or you won't get it done. And if you're a career student, then your employer, so to speak, right, your supervisor, is the school and the staff. And if they're not doing their job to accommodate their employees, their students, then shit ain't going to happen right. And if you've got this, your school is poorly staffed with bad teachers, your kids are going to get fucked. They're just going to get screwed out of a decent education, right? You should know enough about your teacher through their performance in class to have a semi-personal relationship with them, right? Because you should have a lot of one-on-one time with them, and you just don't, right? It's really sad when teachers don't teach, when they don't give their all, right? I'd probably make a great teacher because I love to engage with young people and do stuff, and engage in such a way that we're both learning something, and you can do that with a classroom full of kids a lot more easily than you can one-on-one. You know, how is it to take all of your knowledge about stuff and be able to pass it on to a whole group of people every semester, every year? You know, that's awesome. You're not passing on your values and your ways of thinking so much as you're passing on your knowledge of what you know. You know, if you're a history teacher, you're going to pass out a lot of history, more than you're teaching, right? If you're a good teacher. The teachers that I knew back in the 70s and 80s, the good teachers, were teachers that they went beyond the curriculum. They went above and beyond. They thought outside the box. They engaged the kids so that they wanted to go to school. I wanted to go to school because it was way better than home. But I also wanted to go because on occasion I got a teacher that was, even though they treated me like garbage, they were still a cool teacher and they engaged everybody. I was kind of an oddball, so I never really got a square deal. I never got a fair shake from most of the teachers because they looked at me as some kind of oddity, some kind of freak. But later on, as I grew up, I did find a few teachers who were a little different in their thinking and their methods, you know. So there were a couple of teachers that I would trade all the other teachers for 100 of these guys, you know, or these girls here, because they were some great teachers, you know. Mr. LaValle, right? Mr. and Mrs. Riendo, Ms. Tryon, I think it was Mr. Schaefer, the wood shop teacher in junior high. These were guys, people who didn't treat me like some kind of freak. They just treated me like a kid. Dogs. More dogs. Alright, I'm going to go let dogs out and stuff and see what happens. I'll be right back. I'm going to turn this mic off here. Alright, I am back. The dogs are awake and tickety-tack, tick-tacking around the house. Mom's in bed and yawning. Oh, it's going to be a glorious day. Glorious day, yeah. Hi, little Oliver. Little nerdy guy. Oh, twitching his back. Hi, come here. Come here. He does a lot of stretching in the morning. Come here. Come here. Oh, you silly little boys. Oh, you're so cute when you get up and smile. Good morning, Oliver. Good morning. I see a little nose. I see a little nose. I see a little nose. Hi. Little nose. Little beso. Good morning, little Oliver. He's a little cutie in there. Sam, come here, Sam. Come here. Oh, now Sam's stretching with his floppy ears. Oh, he's so cute. Come here. Come here. Oh, Sammy, you're adorable. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, these faces. Oh, these faces. Oh. Scrunching up his face. Come here. Come here. He just got his chin resting on my leg and his tail wagging. I love you, Sammy. You're such a good boy. You're such a good buddy, Sam. Yes, you are. You're such a good boy. You're such a good buddy. Okay, so if I can remember this evening, it's Minecrafting Monday. And sometimes I just forget, and I'm out of the house at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, crap, I was supposed to do a show. And my alarm goes off and says, hey, crap, you're supposed to do a show. So sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Last week, we had a couple of cancellations. I did some shows, but I got home and I just didn't want to turn the studio on Friday. My guest was still here, and the house was quiet, and I got up, and it's like, he's got to drive to Phoenix to go to the airport. So I was like, you know what, let him sleep. I went back to bed, slept for a couple of more hours, and just decided not to do a show. And then I was so busy with the camping and all that, I just didn't do a video time machine. So I apologize for your missed viewing pleasure. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the TV show Black Sheep Squadron, or Baba Black Sheep. We're going to talk about that show, and we're going to fiddle about here in the studio and do some stuff. Wednesday is Old Time Radio Wednesday, and we're going to do Captain Midnight. We're going to listen to an episode about 15 minutes long, and then we're going to talk about the show and its beginnings and why and what and all that. Thursday, Throwback Thursday, we're just going to play around with the guitar and do a little arts and crafts and a whole lot of nothing. Pretty much we're still recovering from camping, so I'm not going to put too much on the board there. And since we didn't get to do an episode on Friday, we're going to do Playing with Matches this Friday. And of course, I've got 4 more albums to go. Remember, the album of today is right there in the comments, Lightning Fingers. The Lightning Fingers of Roy Clark. So check that out. There's also a trailer for the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So try to check out that movie as well. Joey, I'm sure your father has seen it. The movie actually opens in Espanol and French and takes place over several continents in several languages, but mostly in English. One of the main characters, what's his name? Trousseau? Is that his name? What is his name? Francois Truffaut, who is an actor-director, who speaks French during most of the film. A little bit of English, but he speaks French. And Richard Dreyfuss, who plays a map maker, a cartographer in the movie, he is brought in early on as a cartographer, but then is asked to join this part of the mission because they need an interpreter to speak from English into French and French into English, and they also need somebody to go from French into English and then into Spanish, and it gets pretty complicated. They're over a lot of different countries chasing down close encounters of the third kind. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to do my last bong hit of the morning here so that I can cough for the last few minutes. Yeah, as suspected. Needed fewer bong hits this morning to accommodate my pain. Stuff's really good. Really, really good. Before we go, I want to show what my cool little friend and daughter brought home from the mall the other day. Joe's a whiz with the claw machine. So she brought home a bag of clawed stuffed toys and stuff. And this is my Shaggy and my Mystery Machine here with the gang in there. And that's pretty damn cool. How come he's hanging out the window here, and here he's kind of just going, durr, right? I love it. So thank you, Joey. That's pretty cool. I like plushies. My daughter has the collection of plushies from Futurama. I think there's 4 of them. So she got a Fry, a Leela, a Zoidberg, and we couldn't find the Bender. So she special ordered the Bender, so now she's got all 4. But I came home one day, she said, can you check to see if they have any? And if they have any, could you get me one? So I went there and they had 3 different kinds. They didn't have a Bender. So I got her the 3 different kinds and gave them to her and said, she went, oh my gosh. So we looked and we looked and we looked and we couldn't get a Bender. So she ordered one at, I don't remember how or where, but she got it. So now she's got the full collection of Futurama plushies. That's cool. I mean, plushies are all right. I like the action figures, but plushies are pretty dang cool. As long as your dogs don't get a hold of them, then they're all right. Well, we are tickety-tick-tocking to the end of today's show. I don't know what's going on today. I really don't. I don't know if we've got anything to clean today. I think my wife said she's going out to a friend's house to go help her for the day. I know my daughter's going to sleep in for most of the day. So it's pretty much going to be me and the dogs for a few hours, I guess, today, at some point. If my wife leaves late enough this morning, then I may just take a nap between her leaving and my daughter waking up, so that I can have some energy when they're both here and active. At some point, today being the 9th, today I have to finish cleaning out my van of anything that really just doesn't need to be in there. Tomorrow, I take my van into the mechanic shop, and he has got all, excuse me, he's been there for several years in the same location, and he has all positive reviews. He has no negative reviews, except for somebody who's like, why isn't he there on Saturday? I stopped by and he wasn't there. Well, that's not his fault that you don't read the fucking hours. So I don't take that as a negative review. I take that as some idiot who thinks he's a fucking Karen. So, ooh, kitchen's open, yay. So, yeah, the rest of the week, tune in because it's gonna be awfully fun. Tomorrow's album, actually all of the albums this week are quite enjoyable, and I will really try to post links to all of them so that you can enjoy them without having to do too much fanfare. Tomorrow, tune in and we'll talk about the TV series starring Robert Conrad, The Black Sheep Squadron from the 1970s. There's 2 seasons of it, and it takes place during World War II in the Pacific Theater on a fictional island. I think it's a fictional island, but it has to do with the actual real-life adventures of Captain Boyington, a World War II ace pilot, which means he had shot down a shitload of fucking dudes. And he was given his own squadron, and he picked out all bad guys. He picked out all guys who had been in the brig, who had been arrested for punching out officers and that kind of shit. Because that's the kind of guy he was. He was a rowdy guy in real life. So the show really does mirror his life because he is a consultant on the show. He helps write some of the stories, as well as he comes on the show as, I think, a general or a colonel or something, and actually has a cameo or a spot on the show as one of his higher-ups. So it's a great show. I urge you to watch it, and tomorrow we'll talk about it more, and I'll try to post some links so that you can go check it out. Cheers. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Let's see. Tonight, as I said, if I do remember, and I am here, it's Minecrafting Monday, so we're going to play for about an hour and a half. And I haven't been there in a while, so I don't really know what's going on anymore. I know that I got potatoes waiting for me. That's a given. I think what I'm doing right now is I'm raising a yard filled with sheep so that I can get a shitload of cotton or wool for my sails and for flags and banners and whatnot for my ship. Because alongside the ship, on the sides, in between the cannons that are going to have cannon ports, there's going to be places to put some flags and banners and stuff off the side of the ship, on the sails. There's just going to be stuff everywhere on this ship, so it'll be a lot of fun. So we're going to play with that Minecrafting stuff tonight. So tune in. Tune in at about, I don't know, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll put on some Grateful Dead. We'll play around for a little while. It'll be fun. We'll do some bong hits. Yeah, it'll be great. And maybe I can get one of these dogs to come hang out with me. I had hoped that while my guest was here, we would do some Minecrafting. We were just having too much fun, so we decided not to get ourselves tied down to the old computer. So we took that night off. We just said, nah, I ain't gonna do it. All right, it is time for me to get out of here. I think I can splash a little more coffee in my cup and get a little warm up here and then have some food. And I will be back this evening, so please, if you can, join me. And if you can't, well then don't, because I won't notice, right? All right, here we go. Let me go ahead and boot up the sound here. There's my video. All right, people, you know what to do. All right, take care of each other. Peace and love. Be kind to each other. All right. Spread peace and love, not bullshit. Are you gonna work? There you go. Spread peace and love, not bullshit. Take care of each other. Do something for yourself, but do something for somebody else. Why? Because it makes you feel good. Makes everybody feel good. Makes the world a better place. Most especially, stay weird out there, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody gonna be weird for you. All right, Joey, take care. I will talk to you soon from everybody here at Elsinore Brothers Studio. I want to thank you for joining me this morning, and I'll be back this evening. All right. Take care of yourselves, people out there. All right. Love y'all. Adios. Bye, Joey.